Bitcoin surges. Is this a genuine run-up or another market trap? Well, here we are sitting pretty. We got this nice pump here. Welcome back to the Crypto Astro channel, bringing a radical, innovative new approach to crypto analysis, combining technical analysis with astrology. I'll give my predictions and what I'm doing at the end, but please use caution in the comments below as there are many spam bots that are promoting false crypto projects, so don't fall for those. But none of this content is financial or investment advice. This content is intended for entertainment and informational purposes only. Well, guys, I did have some previous predictions that were warning about basically the second half of August. And, you know, I said caution is what I said. And we did get a little bit of a slowdown, but really after the major negative transits, we are getting a very nice pump. So things are holding up a little bit stronger than I was expecting. So, I mean, that's potentially very positive. We were getting the Saturn squaring Jupiter on August 19th, right on that full moon. And we did get a local low there. We could zoom in a little bit. We did get this low right there during that full moon, but we're getting a very nice pump out of there. So things are looking pretty good right now in the short term. You know, the negative astrology didn't dump the markets too much. Things are holding up well. Bitcoin was stuck in this. Let me zoom out a little. You know, Bitcoin was bumping up on these levels around 61. I mean, look at how many times it bumped into this level here. I mean, bumped it there. Let's go in here. So 1, 2, 3, and then building strength here, accumulating, and then boom, blast through that level around 61,500. So that is looking strong right there, looking like a nice healthy breakout. One thing to be concerned about, I like to keep a level head here, don't want to get too bullish all the time, is that this daily exchange volume. Now, we tracked this, you know, when Bitcoin went off on a huge run. Well, let's go back a little bit. So the Bitcoin ETF got approved right here. The daily exchange volume peaked out. Then it fell off a bit, and Bitcoin fell down back into the 30s. But then February, we did get this low here, and that's around 23 billion exchange volume. And then we just really headed up. And this is right where Bitcoin got the all-time high, March 8th there. And ever since then, the exchange volume has been falling off. Yeah, and really just consolidating. But the concern here is that if we zoom in, you know, we got this pump in exchange volume, but now we're just kind of falling off. And we're only getting a little bit upward trend there. But looking at this, I mean, the good news is that we're still above this level back in February. So we're barely above this February level. The only concern is that it's still in a downtrend. This 28 billion is lower than this local low here, 31 billion, and it's lower than this one. So it's still on a downtrend. What we want to see is, well, really something like this, sustained growth moving upwards like we did since October of last year, where we really got a nice crypto run up. All right, so that is one of the few concerns here that we need to be aware of. Another important thing is if we really zoom out, when in doubt, zoom out. I am going to open up the Stochastic RSI here. This is for Bitcoin. You know, as we see in the last bull run, if you look at the dates here down here, we peaked out around March 2021, and that was when Bitcoin got that major peak. Looking back on it, I would have loved to sell in that area. That would have been pretty great. And watch when this blue line crosses the red stochastic RSI, we get the stochastic RSI cross. That's arguably, arguably the end of the bull run. Now, I mean, Bitcoin did get another run up in November, but even if people, even if, like for me, if I sold at that level, that would have been wonderful. That would have been great because Bitcoin only went up a little bit more in November. We are potentially heading towards, we're getting closer to a stochastic RSI cross. So we want to keep our fingers crossed that September 1st, hopefully we do not get a stochastic RSI cross, because that could be spelling a bit of trouble for the crypto markets. It could be showing a potential peak in the market. Not guaranteed, as of course, last market, that was not the all-time high, but it was very, very close to it. So we're going to have to see what happens on September 1st. The very, 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 very interesting thing is that we get some major, major, major astrology on September 1st, potentially marking a major market shift. Now, historically, it doesn't give specifics on if it's a shift down or up. So it's very, very difficult to predict, but all I can say is that major market shift around September 1st. Not exactly on the day, guys. This is macro. We're looking at the 2-month chart here. Just, potentially on a monthly or 2-month scale, this could mark a major market shift. That's all I can say about that. All right. Now, I also want to look, if we go to the weekly, we look at, let me clean this up a little bit. We look at the red line, let's see, zoom in. We look at the blue line. We bounced off of that, but also the yellow line is the 1 week SMA. And we're coming right up against that. So if we zoom in, go to the daily. So we're right around this yellow 21 SMA. And that's around 64,400. We are right in that area. So historically, we want to get above that. We want to start stair-stepping above that. So we want to continue upwards. We want to go like this, and this yellow line is going to come over here like that. We want to head above the yellow line. That would be bullish. That's what we want to look for in the bullish scenario. Now, bearish scenario, we get rejected and we just head back down. And that's totally possible as well, especially heading into this major astrology that typically marks major shifts in the market. What else here? Let me know what questions you guys have in the comments below. If we go on the weekly, yeah, we're bouncing off the, which one is that? I believe it's the, yeah, one of these moving averages we're bouncing off. So that's bullish. We also bounced off of the 50% level. So we take a look at this green line right here. That's a 50% level from the peak here back in March 8th, March 11th, all the way down to this level down here, 24,700. That's where we were at back exactly June of 2023. And we bounced off that level perfectly, 49,000. So that's looking quite bullish. But we got to see where we head from here on out. If we're going to get rejected from this level, 64,000, or if we're going to continue upwards, would be the bullish scenario. Okay, now this is really interesting. Let's look at the historic Bitcoin times of consolidation. Arguably back here in let me make this a little bigger. Look at times in the history. Back in April 2023, it took all of this period. As you can see, we're, staying in this range for a while, and it didn't break out until really this time right here. So it took about 196 days to break out of this range. All right, from this peak all the way to when it broke out. Now, another peak was right here. It only took 35 days. Back here, it only took 28 days. We go back in the history books. I included this too. I mean, we hit a peak here, and then it took 189 days before we kind of hit another peak. Now, it didn't break through it, so that's not exactly the same thing. Here, back in 2019, look at how long, I mean, this was the longest range Bitcoin was in, arguably. Well, one of the longest consolidation periods after a peak. 490 days. I mean, I was there in the market. That took forever. That was rough. So that was more than a year before it broke out of this peak here. So if we make a line right here, Bitcoin made it up to this level, 13,800 around there. Didn't break out until October 2020. All right, and that was major. So that was 490 days, long time. That was brutal. It only took 49 days to break out of this range here. Only took 105 days to break out of this range. 189 to break out of this range here, arguably, and then 203 days to break out of this range. Now, I did average these all out. Now, I went all the way even back to 2013. 210 days before I broke out of this range, went into that peak there. And 2012, let me zoom in a little bit. Whoopsies. 2012, this one took 161 days before it broke out of this accumulation period. 182 days here. And then even all the way back to 2011, 63 days to break out of that consolidation period, 91 days to break out there. So I averaged all of these for your convenience. And what did I get? 156 days. Okay, so that's the average. So how are we doing right now? Let's go on the daily to go from the peak we're at right now here. How many days are we at right now? We're at 163 days. So we're already past that average. And we have not broken out from the all-time high yet. So it looks like we got longer to go. But if it goes out to 180 days, that would take us out to September 10th. Let's look at what some of the other ones that we got. 196. If it takes 196 days, which we got earlier or last year, that would take us out to September 26th. That's interesting. So could markets break out September? I don't know. That's tricky. September historically has the worst average returns for Bitcoin based on annual returns. So, I mean, or are we going to head into a 490-day consolidation? That would be brutal. 490 days, how long would that take? That would take us out to, oh my goodness, July of next year. That would be so brutal. So that would be the longest it would take, probably. 494. Brutal. 186, 206. Let's see if it takes 206. That's a bit more realistic. Still pretty slow, pretty bearish. What was it, 206? That would take us to October 6th. That's pretty good. I kind of like that. October 6th kind of lines up in what I'm thinking. I mean, that would definitely be the bullish case. Because there is, yeah. I mean, that's interesting. So October 6th. Could we break out? I mean, that feels pretty good intuitively because the Fed is likely going to cut rates September, 17th. If they cut rates one time, that could be bullish. Historically, when they cut rates slowly, that the markets can break out, at least in the short term. Whereas if they cut really aggressively, then historically markets can, there can be a lot of fear and unknown in the markets, and the markets can dump. So a lot rides on what's going to happen on September 17th around the lunar eclipse, which also marks a major market shift. So we have a lot of volatility, guys, a lot of volatility to pay attention to in the month of September. And I'm going to be coming out with a Bitcoin astrology video for September, so you can get all the details on that coming very soon before we head into September, so you guys can get a feel for what kind of waters we're heading into. So definitely subscribe if you want to get access to my September astrology update. All right, let's take a look here. All right, let's look at Ethereum. Let's go down here. Ethereum's was looking very weak on August 5th. Around the August 19th, the Saturn square Jupiter, it was hanging out around 2,500. Now we're pumping. It's trying to get out of this range here. We've been just sitting in this range, you know, from around like, yeah, 2,500 to approximately like 2,700. And there's a possibility it breaks out of this range, or is it going to get rejected? Very tricky. Good news is I'm going to come out with a Ethereum astrology video because I'm seeing some very positive things in the future. I'm just going to say that. So let me know in the comments below if you want me to unleash an Ethereum astrology video, because I'm seeing some very interesting things in the astrology especially. So I'm rooting for Ethereum to break out of this range, but not guaranteed. Now Solana is looking pretty good. It's trying to break out of this range as well. It did get a local peak at 163. It's trying to head back up to, could we head back up to 180, 88 around there? Or is it going to get rejected again to head back down? So markets are a bit on edge still here. Let's look at Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Haven't looked at this in a while. Wow, Ethereum has dumped hard ever since July 15th. My goodness. I mean, it's just, that's not looking great. Yikes. So, I mean, Ethereum has just been heading down, and just got rejected in May and got rejected in July versus Bitcoin. So this is the price of Ethereum versus the price of Bitcoin, showing the strength of Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Gosh, it is still just very, very weak. Let's zoom out. Man. However, if it gets a really strong bounce here, could there be hope for Ethereum versus Bitcoin? All right, I'm rooting for Ethereum, but we got to get out of here soon because we do not want to keep heading down off of this trend line. We definitely want to bounce off of this, want to get up here fast, and we want to bounce off of this trend line and head upwards like that. That would be the bullish case scenario there. Would definitely want to see that soon, as we did get the Ethereum ETF approved. And this is the inflows and outflows of the Ethereum spot ETF. And we've been getting a tremendous amount of outflows from the Grayscale ETF. If you look at all this red over here, tremendous thousands and thousands of dollars coming out of the Grayscale ETFs. But they're heading into these other ETFs, the BlackRock ETF, the Fidelity ETF especially. Looks like those are getting some of the highest inflows. But the total, it's the Ethereum ETFs have been getting a total negative net flow for a while now. So that's a big part of, I think, the Ethereum price dumping. Is you look at all this red on the right column here, where a lot of Ethereum ETFs, a lot of selling from the grayscale ETFs. All right, so that's causing a lot of potential down pressure on Ethereum. Okay, I'm going over some good stuff here with you guys. One thing to mention really quick, just an announcement, is one of my altcoin picks in my private Crypto Astro Mastermind got an 80% pump recently. So that was very nice. And many of the other picks are getting very big pumps as well. 50% pump on another one of my picks just in the last couple of days. I also notified my members of a special indicator that gave a buy signal on August 16th. And let's take a look at August 16th. This was very helpful because August 16th was right here. This quite accurate indicator. So far, it's been very, very accurate the last 4 times this year. We got a buy signal here, and look at what markets have done since. Just pretty major pump there. That is, how much is this pump here? 14% pump on Bitcoin and much more on altcoins. Like I said, 80% pick on one of my altcoins and a 50% pump on another one. So if you want to get access to this private Crypto Mastermind, get access to these private announcements with these special indicators, as well as a monthly call with me. And when you sign up with just one single payment, you get lifetime access to monthly private calls with me in a group setting on Zoom video. And you'll get instant access to altcoins, my top altcoin picks with 10x to 20x potential, as well as the Bitcoin Astrology overview for 2024 and 2025. Super, super high value information, guys. So if you want that, get access to it. My predictions are still at 89% accuracy, so get access to my private group and you will not regret it. All right. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Let's see if we have any comments today. Just a few here. Good evening from Lakeland, Florida. Beautiful. Glad to have you with us, Kevin. Thanks for tuning in. Jonathan, hello from England. I just love having viewers from all over the globe, guys. And I would love to meet you in virtually, so definitely would love to see you in my private Crypto Astro Mastermind. But I will continue these amazing videos on YouTube. So if you haven't already subscribed, please do so, as I'll be coming with many more videos. But markets are looking good right now. There is some caution coming up, and I will tell you guys a lot about that in my upcoming September Bitcoin Astrology update coming very soon. All right, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.